Hi everybody, it's your girl Shino back again, and we're now in the Lysa 2 territory. So yep, that means new design. This episode, this is the one I've been looking forward to the most. This is the pronoun episode. I'm gonna get really passionate about this because I'm really proud of the system I've come up with. Make sure to join the Discord if you are interested in learning the language. Make sure to subscribe to keep up with new channel updates. And with that, let's get into it. Now, don't feel overwhelmed by this. I promise by the end of this, you might be able to make some more sense of this chart. So don't feel too stressed out. You will not have to learn every single one of these words individually. I can promise you that right now. So let's get into it. So we're going to split this up into little groups to make it easier to understand. So group one is going to be your third person, like base pronouns. So it's going to be like your he, she, they, like all that. So I've labeled it like masculine, feminine, all that. Just know I'm going to say the English equivalent as I go over it. So he or him, there's no different words for that in this language. So that is yul. She or her, that is ami. And then they, them, this is singular. The singular they, them is ken, like the name. The animate form of it and the inanimate form, there are two separate words. I'll explain the difference here. So the animate form is used for like a cat or a dog or a person that would want to use that pronoun. If the thing is like living, then you're going to use got. And if it's like not, if it's non-living, if it's like a rock or a wall, then you're going to use myo with it. So that's the difference. And these are your five third person based pronouns. You only have to learn 15 words to be able to understand all 85 of the Lesbani pronouns. And all 15 of those words, they're only one syllable each. So I'm trying to make this easy. Well, I shouldn't say that because I made 85 pronouns, but it could be worse, okay? Now, the third person modifiers, this is where Lesbani really starts to shine. So you have different words for how you got to that identity. So, for example, I'm a trans girl, so I would take the feminine ami and I would combine that with the trans prefix to get hanami. Or if I was a demigirl, I would use kelami. Or if I would, then what this fluid means is if you're gender fluid and you are currently experiencing if you're currently experiencing, like, say, you're going through a boy phase right now and you're gender fluid, you're going to take the he, him, masculine yul, and you're going to add ush to it. So it's going to become ushyul, like that. So that's a brief introduction to the way these modifiers work. And group three, very small. It's your first and second person pronouns. So these have no gendered forms. These are tum and luz. For tum is I, and luz is you. You can remember you because it kind of looks like you're pointing, like both sides are pointing in at the same thing. So I just now noticed this while making this presentation. Yes, I do make these presentations for every episode. Uh, the other pronouns is going to be this and one. So sad is going to be this, and nyok is going to be one. Like, well, when we get into verbs, we can start really forming sentences with these. But if you've been paying attention, you might notice that we're missing some. Like, what about like himself or her, as in like that's her book, or there, or all, or these? Well, that's where these come in. So the plural is going to do exactly what it says. It's going to take the pronoun and it's going to make it into its plural form. And so what that's going to do is like if we have ken, that's going to turn ken bun is the plural they. Ken tas is like reflexive. That's the self. So their self. And ki is possessive. So like her, his, that'd be like amiki and yoki. And then you can like stack the trans and demi all that onto it. So you can get like kelamiki. or ushyoki, or hanami tas. Like, all this stuff. Now, something I will explain about the plural they, and this applies to plural you as well. Uh, so like if the group you are addressing by that, let's say they are a majority like male or demi-boy aligned, well, then you can't just use kenbun. You have to add yo to the end of that. So kenbun yo or kenbun ani for majority female aligned. Or you would just say kenbun for like majority non-binary, xenogender, anything like that. You would just use kenbun, luzbun, but anything else you would have to like use luzbun yo for like you plural if they're majority male aligned. And again, you can stick like luzbun yo tas or luzbun yo ki or kenbun yo ki. Like you can keep stacking like that. So yeah, those are all the words you need to know. Bonus word though. So we've learned that to introduce yourself in Lesbani, you just like you give like a basic greeting, like Stokyo for hello, and then you would state your name followed by the word kaboya. So like Stokyo, kaboya. But like that's not all there is to it. So you can also introduce your pronouns first by stating what it is in the standard form that is like he, she, they. So followed immediately by the word Lesbani word kiliknya. So to add to my introduction, I wouldn't just say like Shino Kaboya. I would add Shino Kaboya Hanami Kiliknya to that. And so, alright, let's get some practicing. If a person uses the Lesbani pronoun ami, what's the most likely answer as to what they identify as? And I will give you 5 seconds for each one of these problems. I believe there are 5 of them. So your time starts. Correct answer is if you use Ami, would likely be a female biologically and you still identify with that. So if a person uses the pronoun usken, what's the most likely answer? Again, 3, 2, 1, time starts now. All right. And the answer to that is they are gender fluid and they are currently going through a non-binary phase because Ken is the neutral pronoun. So usken, gender fluid, neutral pronoun, means they're going through a non-binary phase or some other non-binary identity. Doesn't have to be like they don't have to identify as non-binary, but some not identity that doesn't fit strictly within the male-female societal expectations, pretty much. The next one, if a person uses the pronoun "kelyul," what's the most likely answer? 3, 2, 1, go. All right, and the answer is they are likely a demi-boy because kel is the demi prefix, and then yul is the masculine third person. So demi, he, demi-boy. So hanami, you should get this one. If a person uses hani, what's their most likely identity? All right, and your answer is trans girl, just like me. Like I use hanami, so good job if you got that one. Now, when referring to a group in which the majority identifies as male or demi-boy, which form of they should be used? If you said kenbunyol, you'd be correct. Good job. Now, stakya, alana kabaya, then we have some blanks. So guess well, how should the blanks be filled if Alana is a demigirl? If you said kalamikilignya, you'd be correct. Good job. Now, you might be asking, is this too complicated? The short answer, no. There are lots of other natural languages that have more pronouns. The example I found the easiest is Slovene, spoken in Slovakia or Slovenia. Sorry, one of the two. Probably Slovenia because of the name. But it not only has grammatical gender, but it also shifts the pronoun form depending on like where it's located in the sentence. Oh, they have like a clitic form of it too, and like they have a clitic form full word. Uh, let's look at these two sentences. I'm probably gonna butcher this. Zanmi yedaldinar and zanyega mean yedaldinar. Both n and nyega mean he. They're both grammatically correct. And from what I have understanding, this applies to all other pronouns in the Slovene language. So, yeah, don't complain about it being too complicated when there's natural languages doing stuff like this. Thanks for watching so much. This was a really fun episode to record. I really loved it. The next episode, we are going to cover some of the basic grammar points that you'll need to know. And make sure to join the Discord if you haven't already and you're interested in learning. Make sure to subscribe if you want to keep up with the channel updates and these lessons as I keep pumping them out. And yeah, that'll about do it for today. Shino out. Ikyari!